guys, welcome back to doremicom channel. I'm here to talk about your very first Infinity 3rd Edition demo game, okay? And let me tell you what the steps should be when you're deciding that you're going to do this. The first step, go to infinitythegame.com, click on Warcore, and see if there's a Warcore in your region of the country. Because if so, do yourself a favor, find a demo day, make it happen. Especially if you're unsure about whether or not you're going to want to play Infinity or not. I'm telling you right off the bat, the best way to know is to get a demo game in. Option number 2, assuming there's no Warcore in your area, get Operation Ice Storm and play the first mission that's in there, okay? Now, let's make this final decision that one or both of the people that are playing, you know, don't want to play one of the two factions that come in Operation Ice Storm. Okay, and let's say you got one guy who doesn't mind playing Pano, but another guy who wants to play Hakislam, and you guys both decide, let's go ahead and just get those boxes. And you download the PDF of the 3rd edition rules. Here's where you guys can get creative. So if option 1 and option 2 don't work for you, here's where you can start getting creative. Start thinking in terms of old school style. Understand if you want to play this game, get your demo in, and don't wait for, you know, there's a lot of fantastic scenery that's out there, and a lot of the bat reps that you're going to see both on this channel and elsewhere is going to really highly promote the notion of MDF terrain and these like stylized things. But you know what? Just do it. Just play a game. Just play a game of Infinity. And there's easy ways to go about doing that. Think, like I said, old school style, where I don't know if you guys had experienced this, but me early on when I was playing other tabletop games as a youth, terrain was what we had around the house. It was t-shirts, it was cans of soda or whatever, right? I'm going to show you how to put together a terrain board for an intro game of Infinity with costing you less than $9 and have it all completely assembled in anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. I just want to play, okay? So again, if we're going to start talking about in this channel the notion of triangle terrain, okay? And it's that whole good, and this is like highly stylized, fast, and cheap. You can't have all three. This is going to fall far more on just like in that corner of inexpensive and getting it done quickly, so you can just get that game going. For those of you who are veterans of the doremicom channel, you'll know that we did Turbo Terrain. Turbo Terrain was very much about just get it done quickly. Relatively inexpensive, but speed was the key motivation. Here we're playing a demo game, so both speed of completion and inexpensive is important. I'm going to show you how to put all this terrain together for a demo board using one quick trip to Walmart. I know some of you guys don't like Walmart, but you can utilize these same techniques with just items you have around the house. And again, for under $9, between 5 and 10 minutes. A standard Infinity game is on a 4x4 board, okay? So let me just go ahead and, for your demo game, if you're focusing on what I'm going to show you here, which is the first mission that you can find in the N3 Infinity books, as well as the first mission for Operation Ice Storm, I'm going to say, don't worry about a 4x4, you won't need that much space. You're only going to have 3 line infantry against 3 line infantry. And I will also say that no matter what faction you're choosing to play, in this example we're going to use Hakislam and Pano, use what they suggest in Operation Ice Storm and use the profiles as though it's Nomad Alguacils versus Pano Fusiliers with combi rifles. Okay, so like I said before, in this particular demo game, we have one player who's like, yeah, Pano, that sounds great. Another person who is, no, I want to play Hakislam. And again, we're going to treat the Hakislam models as Nomad Alguacils. And the reason we're going to do that is because right off the bat, we know from the profile that both sets of Alguacils and Pano Fusiliers are both 10 points apiece when equipped with a combi rifle, which is going to be our choice. If we were to play the Hakislam as Gulam, they carry both shotguns, light shotguns, and rifles, which means that now we have to worry about whether or not we've printed off templates or we have templates that we can use. This is a demo game, we're not going to go that far, but again, we've already skipped past the thing that says we don't have a war core in the area and we do not have Operation Ice Storm at our disposal. Otherwise, we already have terrain, we already have dice, and we already have markers. Okay, so we backed up so we can see what our playing surface is. We're going to be using this collapsible table here, and the width is 29.5 inches, but so that we can actually practice our deployment, we're going to go ahead and take the measurement out to 48 inches. Okay, and that literally puts us right near the edge of the screen. We'll go ahead and mark that for the time being with a stapler. Okay, so now that we have our playing surface, we're going to have one army deploy on this side, one on this side, going, you know, a foot in, which is our usual deployment zone. Since most people have six-sided dice hanging around and we don't need it for the purposes of our Infinity game, we're going to go ahead and use those to mark off a deployment area. Okay, so the dice mark, you have to be inside the dice. So from here this way and from here this way during deployment. And from the back edge of the dice in the middle is our normal 2 feet of no man's land at the beginning of the game. So we've marked off a little bit. We have a table, we have our models, but we're missing terrain. I literally went to Walmart and picked up a couple boxes of Kleenexes. In total, I spent $8.86. These will be our acting terrain for this particular game. Again, it's a demo game. Everyone needs tissues, so if you decide that you're going to upgrade your terrain and you don't need these tissues anymore, no loss. To add a little bit of interest in this terrain from a usability perspective, we're going to take the lighter colored boxes, put it on their sides, and using a marker, I'm going to use a marker, but you can always use whatever writing utensils you have. We're going to actually draw on these to provide some staircases. And again, we're clocking out, so I'm trying to make sure that we're doing all of this within 10 minutes. I'm not going to play around. I'm going to use a ridiculous straight edge. And I'm doing it this way, so just in case I choose to vary up the terrain by stacking two of these together, the ladders line up. Maybe using a non-erasable Crayola marker might have been the better call. Get a Sharpie up in here. Okay. So we have some ladders, and for the side parts, since we're not going to worry about everything working out, we're going to go ahead and assume that we're not going to stack more than 2 of those boxes, and we'll go ahead and add some side staircases. Now I'm just lining them up, not because I'm anticipating them stacking on one another, but rather I just want to finish this as fast as humanly possible. Okay, so we got some ladders added, and now we're going to go back to a long view of the table and we're going to lay out some terrain. Okay, I'm doing all this in real time because, again, I don't want you guys thinking that I'm cheating time-wise. Let's go ahead and add one there. We're going to add a box there. This is going to be our double-decker terrain piece, and we're going to tie it up against this particular box. You know what? Let's go ahead and do it like that. Okay, we'll add another piece here. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but I am intentionally not putting the boxes parallel with table edge. I'm making it diagonal. And the more I think about it, we're going to go ahead and do that. Completely sufficient enough terrain here, but there's a reason we brought the stapler, and right now we're going to go ahead and change out the table edge with the magic marker and repurpose the stapler. Why? Let's say, you know, one of the two players is like, you know what, I want to understand how all terrain works, not only vertical terrain, but also low ground terrain. I read it on the forum somewhere that that's a good thing. Don't have ground terrain? No biggie. Grab a sheet of paper. Fold it over once, fold it over twice, so literally we take a sheet of paper, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. Then we're just going to take it and rip it as even as you can. If you got scissors, that probably would have been a nice touch to keep a clean edge. And then we're going to fold it over one more time. Okay, now what this is going to effectively be is concrete walls. Take the stapler, staple up about from this the part that doesn't open, it's all just a fold. You're gonna move down about a little less than an inch and apply 2 staples, one on either edge, and take the part that opens and fold it back. This is old school, people. Now I have effectively some low ground terrain. We're going to do this with this other piece as well. Folding this back in, boom, we have 2 pieces of low ground terrain on this board, one that's there, one that's there. And terrain is set up at this point, okay? All told, this whole thing, like I said, less than $9, less than 10 minutes to build, and now we're ready to begin. Again, we're going to be using the Nomad Alguacil and the Pano Fusilier combi rifle models so that we can avoid using any sort of templates. This is, after all, just an intro demo game, and we want to get it going.